John, you've added to the squad today with the arrival of Gary Dicker. Good experienced midfield player, good addition.
Yeah, it's just what we want. Another fit young man who can get around the pitch and passes the ball very well and enjoys winning. Has got a good pedigree. Certainly no stranger to Sussex. He lives down near Shoreham, I think, in Brighton. Had an exceptionally good period whilst he was at Brighton. When they, of course, got promotion from League One, so he knows what this division's all about. I think he's played about 120 odd games at this level, so he knows what this division's about. He's been doing a very good job for Rochdale. It's no coincidence that they're in the top four in League Two, and they're in the fourth round of the FA Cup this weekend as well, with a home game against Sheffield Wednesday, which fortunately for us, he's not going to play in. He'd be playing for us, of course, up at Rotherham. So I'm delighted to have him with us, and I'm sure he's going to be a very good addition to what is already a very good squad.
I was going to say, it adds to the competition for places in midfield, doesn't it?
You've got to have it, Bruce. You've got to have it wherever you are. I have got one or two that are getting a little bit too comfortable here because they've got no one threatening their position. But certainly across the midfield here, we've got healthy competition, which for me is always a good ingredient to have at a football club. You know, everybody wants to play, everyone wants to be in the starting 11, and you know, if the addition of Gary Dicker increases the work rate and the energy and the commitment to 3 or 4 players in our team, if it just increases it by 5%, it's a step in the right direction. So I'm sure there'll be 1 or 2 looking over their shoulders at the weekend as to what's going to happen, and that's how I want it to be, in the best way possible. You know, it just brings a little bit extra out of everybody when you bring in a new player, and I expect to see that on the pitch on Saturday.
I think the transfer window closes Friday week.
Yeah.
Do you envisage any more business?
Well, if it's the right ones, you know, there's been a couple that have possibly that I was possibly interested that have gone elsewhere, but they've gone for lots of money, and it's, you know, I suppose it's an ingredient that we don't really possess. You know, we have to spend very carefully and very wisely. It does cost a lot of money to run this football club, and I'm very conscious and very aware that, you know, every pound that I spend has to be spent wisely, and that's hence why Gary's here. You know, Gary has cost us absolutely nothing to bring him here. He lives just down the road from where we are, so there's no sort of relocation or problems getting him to settle in the area or putting him up in very expensive hotels, which can be the norm. And he fits into that category. So, you know, we've signed a player, and it's cost us nothing really, apart from the salary until the end of the season. The rest, of course, is up to him as to whether or not we keep him. But yeah, we're still looking. I'm still looking, and we still got 2 or 3 targets that may or may not join us by the end of next week. But we're busy looking to try and improve as much as we can.
Looking ahead now to Saturday, Rotherham. Going well. You saw them last week at Shrewsbury, where they, first 20 minutes were devastating.
They destroyed them, yeah. They destroyed Shrewsbury. They started exceptionally well, and it's a big feature of their game, how they start football matches. So we need to make sure that we're on the front foot and expect an onslaught really in that first 15-20 minutes. They do come out of the blocks very sharp, very quick. And certainly last week in particular, and in previous weeks, they've started lots of football matches. And in fact, you know, we've looked at lots of things about them, and they do start matches very well. So we need to make sure we're wide awake when that game kicks off at 3 o'clock on Saturday. But this squad are really fired up. You know, we've lacking sort of matches of late, as you know. We had one cancelled last week, and you know, this lot keep preparing themselves for matches, and games get called off, and they get a little bit disappointed, but they're certainly fired up, and it's a good ground to go and play. You know, it's a new stadium. It's got a big pitch and a good football pitch as well, and you know, some of our best performances of late have been away from home. So I have to say they're all looking forward to this one in particular.
And of course we go again on Tuesday night, but I guess it's good to get those games now and hopefully get some momentum into the season, because it's been really stop-start last 2 or 3 weeks, hasn't it?
Yeah, particularly, obviously Richie left and I came in, and we obviously started the first game was the cup match down at Bristol Rovers, and then we had one abandoned, and then we had one called off, and then we went to Swindon and had that called off, and then we had prior to that, we'd had an excellent performance against Notts County out here, which we won 1-0 and should have won about 7-0. And then went down to Swindon expecting to play and gets called off, and it just sort of stopped the momentum. We went to Coventry and got a good point at Coventry, finished the game on a high. Looking forward to the Wolves game. Of course, it was never took place, so it has been stop-start. So I'm sure that this weekend we've got the tough game at Rotherham, and then we go straight to Port Vale, and then the following week we're back here with the visit of Stevenage. So busy period coming up. 98 days left of the season.
Hopefully a few more than that.
We're programmed at the moment. Yeah, let's hope you're right there, Bruce. There's 98 days of the regular season left, and we've got to cram 22 games into that time. So I'm going to need every player to be on the front foot, ready to play.